morning and welcome to Football League World TV. It is time for the EFL betting show, as we do every single Friday morning. My name is Sam Rourke, the Chief Editor of footballleagueworld.co.uk, and I'm joined by two of my colleagues, Marcus Alley and Billy Mulley. Marcus, how are you getting on this morning?
Yeah, really well, thanks, Sam. Sadly, it was a full house of losers when I was on the show a couple of weeks ago. I did back them all myself, so I was suffering alongside any viewers that did get on with my bets. There was one small crumb of comfort that I'm clinging on to, though. My wild card a couple of weeks ago was Marlon Fossey to score any time at 11-1. That obviously did not take place, but the following weekend, he did find the back of the net and score his first senior goal. Just goes to show, I think, if you're onto a little bit of value, probably worth staying patient and to continue backing that bet for a few weeks, particularly if the probability, which is implied in an 11-1 shot, that you don't agree with. So, clinging onto that one a little bit, but hoping to make amends in today's show.
Yeah, fingers crossed for some luck in today's show. Billy, are you surviving the storm this morning?
Yeah, just about. Sorry to any viewers that might be able to hear the storm. I'm sitting in the conservatory, so yeah, I'm getting the wind from both sides, I guess. And doing well, thank you. Looking forward to being back on the betting show.
Good stuff. For anyone that hasn't watched the EFL betting show here on Football League World TV, we run through 4 different selections. We each select a banker, an accumulator, a value bet, and a wild card. So please do get yourself in the comments. Let us know what you think of Marcus and Billy's selections this morning. Also, please do gamble responsibly, 18 and over. So let's get straight into it. Okay, we'll start with you this morning, Marcus. What is your banker in the EFL this weekend?
My banker is Middlesbrough to win at Bristol City at 11-10 or 2.1. I think Borough are the second best team in the Championship at the moment. I think I've made that pretty clear on the debate predicting the Championship playoffs. I had them to pit Bournemouth to second place. It's a 9-point gap, which is pretty enormous at this stage. But for me, it's only a matter of if they'll run out of time looking to close that gap on the Cherries in second place. They are definitely only the second. Only Fulham are a better side than them in the Championship, in my opinion. Bristol City been shipping goals recently, and there was a bit of friction between Nigel Pearson and the owner in the media this week. It's quite a big price for a banker, what I'd usually suggest, but I just couldn't ignore it, to be honest. I think Borough, even though they're on their travels, to be an odds against bet is definitely something to get on. So, yeah, Borough really going from strength to strength. Put Derby to the swords very, very easily last weekend, and I think they can do the same, if not make it a little bit more comfortable at Ashton Gate.
Yeah, very hard to oppose Chris Wilder's Middlesbrough at this moment in time, given the way they are motoring in the second tier. Well, there we go. Marcus opting for Middlesbrough to beat Bristol City as his banker this weekend. Let us know in the comments what you think of that selection from Marcus. Billy, what is your banker in the EFL this weekend?
I've found it difficult to ignore Forest Green once again. They're 3-5 to beat Walsall, and I think it could be the 20th game this season that they go unbeaten, which is an incredible run. You don't really typically associate these long runs in League Two. It's always very competitive, but as we've spoken about before, it seems to be the case that Forest Green are running away with the League Two title, and it's a matter of when, not if anymore. They're playing a Walsall side that did win last time out, but they have been struggling. I think it was 6 straight defeats before that. Not too much else to say in terms of Forest Green and their dominance. I think that's been proven throughout the campaign. They've got threats all over the pitch. I think looking at the record of their wing-backs this season has been quite incredible. Kane Wilson has got 3 goals and 13 assists, and Nicky Cadden's got 6 goals and 10 assists, which is just, that's an excellent record for, an attacking midfielder, let alone wing-backs. And yeah, I think that's credit to the way that they're playing, credit to how dominant they've been this season. And yeah, I fully expect them to win quite convincingly against the Walsall side that still have their problems. So 3-5, yeah, I think that's it could even be quite good value because of how dominant Forest Green have been.
Yeah, so you're hoping Walsall don't have a new manager bounce under new manager Michael Flynn this weekend. Well, there we go. Billy opting for FGR to beat Walsall as his banker this weekend. Right, let's look at the accumulators next. Just a reminder to all those watching us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, please do gamble responsibly, 18 and over. We do want to hear from you. Have you got any bets on this weekend? Let us know in the comments. Marcus, what is your accumulator for this weekend?
So pretty standard threefold for me. It's one of the bigger accumulators I've tipped up on this show. My banker's going in there, Borough to win at Bristol City. Then I've got Stoke City to win at home to Birmingham and Bolton Wanderers to win at home to AFC Wimbledon. To start with the Trotters, it's a little bit due to some team news. Wimbledon are going to be without Luke McCormick and Ayub Asal due to suspension. Hartigan, the centre-back, is going to be ruled out with injury as well. And key player Jack Redoni is also a doubt for Mark Robinson's men, who haven't won in a very long time. I haven't written down exactly, but I think it's over 10 games. Dion Charles and Dapo Afolayan were rested in midweek. It was a poor result for Bolton, 3-1 defeat at Burton, although they were 3-0 down inside 18 minutes. So the last sort of 70, 75 minutes of that game, they were able to stay in it. And Dion Charles found the net as he keeps doing quite late on. Javier Amechi returned from the bench, I believe. So he's another threat that Ian Evatt might be able to throw in. And Bolton have won the XG battle in all of their last 11 matches at the Uni Bowl. So clearly hitting their straps in front of their home fans. I just see it as a little bit of a bump in the road. The defeat to the Brewers. Burton have been playing really well recently, going a little bit under the radar. So I'm not really knocking down Bolton too much after that defeat. I definitely think they can get the better of a weakened AFC Wimbledon side. Stoke, I think, are much improved after the January transfer window. Lewis Baker's hit the ground running. Jaden Philogene-Badace is looking really dangerous. Harwood Bellis and Jagielka have shored them up defensively. I think the market's really yet to react to that. So to have them at, I think they're around 1.8 to beat Birmingham at home, I think is quite a generous price. The Blues haven't won on their travels since October as well. Although they beat Luton last week, and they have been on quite an inconsistent run, it has to be said, since their strong start to the season that they made. So I think Stoke are rightful strong favourites in that match, and look to be building towards potentially joining that playoff chasing pack in the next few months. So that's Borough to win at Bristol City, Stoke to win at home to Birmingham, and Bolton to win at home to AFC Wimbledon, and that comes in at 6-1.
6-1, nice. Comment come in from Des Oldham. Des, great to have you with us this morning. My Acca this week is Derby, Northampton, Exeter, and Forest Green all to win at 8-1. Keep your comments coming in. What bets have you got on in the EFL this weekend? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Right, Billy, let's get your accumulator for this weekend.
So I've gone for a fivefold and starting with my banker with Forest Green to beat Walsall. Again, Forest Green have just shown tremendous ability and character and all those components to suggest they're going to go on and succeed this season. Walsall, as you say, Michael Flynn's come in, and there could be this element of a new manager bounce, but I think it's going to be a very tough ask to go to Forest Green and get any kind of result. I've also got Ipswich to beat Burton. Burton, obviously, as we were just speaking about there, a good result against a slightly weakened Bolton side during the week. But I think this is more down to, the feeling around the Ipswich camp at the moment. Kieran McKenna seems to have the fans and the players on side at the moment. I think Sam Morsey came out and spoke about the good feeling sort of factor around the club at the moment. And I think when you've got the quality they do, adding that element of a good feeling around the club can only be a good thing. Looking at their record as well, Ipswich are unbeaten at home against bottom half teams, and I think that's something that's definitely something that will bode in their favour. I think Burton as well, they're without an away win against top half clubs this season, again is another sort of suggestion to how this game could pan out. I've been impressed with Burton this season, but yeah, I think that one's definitely more to do with Ipswich's turn of fortunes and continued pressure on the top 6 places. Next one I've got is Sheffield Wednesday to beat Doncaster. They did run out as 2-0 losers against Rotherham, but I think Rotherham are sort of in a similar bracket to Forest Green, where they're just showing to be a class above. But before that, they'd won their last 4 without conceding a goal. Sheffield Wednesday making impressive strides towards the playoffs, and I do feel that they'll secure a playoff spot, especially with the players they do have to come back from injury. They're playing against a Doncaster side that we spoke about at the start of the season about how their home record could keep them afloat, and it was their away record that seemed very damaging, but it seems to have completely turned around now. They're without a point actually in their last 6 games at home. So again, I think Sheffield Wednesday should be striving for victory here. They should be able to secure all 3 points quite convincingly. I've also got Portsmouth to beat Crewe. And again, that follows that sort of similar trend that Crewe are just not in a very good place at the moment. I think they're 6 games without a point as well, 6 games they've lost. And Portsmouth, whilst they haven't been majorly impressive in recent weeks, that the last 2 results bode well for them, and that they've still got that sort of outside chance of reaching the playoffs, meaning that every 3 points is massive for them. And at 17 to 20, I think that's quite good value for this Acca. And the last one I've got is Exeter to beat Barrow. That's 4 to 6 selection. And again, Barrow have completely they've lost the early season form that they shown that they could flirt with the playoff places. They've really dropped down, and Exeter have shown that they can win in different ways. That they're obviously on this 8-game unbeaten run, making excellent strides towards the automatic promotion zone. So I think Exeter full value for going on and securing another victory. So that is Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth, Forest Green, and Exeter. All to win is 14.07 to 1.
Nice. I think that's got a very good chance, I've got to say. There we go. Billy opting for a 5-fold as his accumulator for this weekend. Right, let's touch on the value bets next. Marcus, have you found any value in the EFL this weekend?
I certainly think so. It's Milton Keynes Dons away at Sunderland. I was pretty concerned, to be honest, to see the Black Cats' poor form continue. They kind of stole a point at AFC Wimbledon last weekend in Alex Neil's first game in charge. The Dons were much the better side, and an Alex Pritchard free kick really dug them out of trouble to take a point away from Plough Lane. I was surprised to see MK Dons such big outsiders. They're about 3.3 to win the game. I'm taking them 0 on the Asian handicap here, which is exactly the same bet as draw no bet, but for some reason there always tends to be a little bit more juice in the price. That's at 13 to 10 or 2.3. If the game ends in a draw, your stake will be returned. MK have been stronger on their travels this season, and I certainly think that can continue in the northeast. They've only lost 1 in their last 11 games. They've kept 3 clean sheets in their last 5, and Sunderland have really been struggling going forward. They're averaging under 1 expected goal per game over their last 6 matches, so really struggling to create any high quality chances. Ross Stewart's goals have dried up. I think this is going to be a low scoring, low margin game. But looking at the prices the way they are, I certainly think MK are the side that come in better shape. So to have them as such big outsiders definitely presents value in the market for me. So that's MK 0 on the Asian handicap at 13 to 10.
Nice. I like that. Let us know in the comments what you make of Marcus's value bet this weekend. Billy, what is your value bet for this weekend?
So I've gone for Nottingham Forest to beat Bournemouth tonight at 7 to 2. A game that we hope will be on with sort of the bad weather conditions going on. Hopefully, it won't put this game out of our watching, because I'm sure that it's a game that the entire EFL is waiting for tonight. It promises to be an excellent one. But I think Bournemouth, as good as they have been this season, and they come into the game 3 games. On the back of 3 wins, I think they were slightly fortunate to secure all 3 points against Blackpool. I think Blackpool played a very, very good game, and were ultimately outed right at the end with 2 quick-fire Bournemouth goals. But I think in terms of my rationale towards this, it's more on Nottingham Forest. And Marcus earlier said that his thoughts on Middlesbrough sort of pointed him towards that one. I feel that Nottingham Forest, for me, are sort of in a similar boat, where I feel that they will go on and succeed. Their performances recently against Premier League opposition in the FA Cup, their recent run of form, Steve Cooper, just in general, there's a lot to point towards that Forest will go on and succeed this season. And I think it's 7-2 for a team that have the playoffs in sight, that have made excellent distance to get themselves into contention for the playoffs. I'm really, really excited for what this game promises to be, and I'm sure Forest fans will be viewing this as a real good opportunity for 3 points. Bournemouth, as I said, that they've won their last 3, but I don't think they've been as devastating as they were at the start of the season. Slightly slowed down, so I think Nottingham Forest will be looking to take full advantage. And as I say, 7-2 for Nottingham Forest, I think that's quite good value.
Yeah, I must admit I'm quite surprised by that price there for Nottingham Forest, given their form over the last few weeks. There we go. Let us know in the comments what you think of Billy's value bet Forest to beat Bournemouth tonight. Touch wood. That game stays on down at the Vitality Stadium. Just a quick plug. We did an excellent preview show yesterday looking at tonight's game. Well worth checking out on Football League World TV. Just click on our YouTube channel and you'll find yesterday's Under the Microscope show. Right, we're going to look at the wildcards next. So the wildcard is a selection that's a little bit left field. Marcus, what have you gone for here?
I've gone for Middlesbrough to win by 3 or more goals at Bristol City. Sounded like a broken record a little bit here with how much I rate Middlesbrough. This one comes in at 15-2. I just think Bristol City have been shipping goals lately. They can't keep a clean sheet, and they've been relying on their attacking firepower, the likes of Semenyo, Vyman and Chris Martin, to keep them in games, whereas I believe that the Borough, in the likes of McNair, Dykestil and Dale Fry, have the back line to keep them quiet, really, and establish a lot of control in the match, possibly even go to Ashton Gate and keep a clean sheet. So, Borough to win by 3 or more goals, even though I can probably see fixtures on the whole across the divisions being a little bit lower scoring due to the weather conditions, with it being a little bit, just more difficult to play accurate passes and things like that. We saw how it affected the Peterborough versus Reading game in midweek that ended 0-0. However, I think Middlesbrough will fancy their chance of keeping a clean sheet. So for them just to need to score 3 goals to get this bet in, it would have come in against Derby last week. Derby obviously a lot stronger than the Robins at the back. I just think it's a nice price, and considering how much I rate Borough's defensive contingent, I think they could at least come close. I would expect them to certainly win the game by 2 goals or more. I think Bristol City have not a lot to play for, really, and that can sort of edge them in 1 or 2 ways, considering Borough that are really looking to hunt down an automatic promotion spot. So Borough to win by 3 or more goals at Ashton Gate at 15-2.
There we go. I think it's fair to say you're a big fan of Middlesbrough this week, Marcus. Billy, what is your wild card bet?
It's the return of the goal scorers, and I've got Mitrovic as I always do to score, playing against Huddersfield. And I think there's that added incentive of breaking the championship record. And I've spoken all season about the quality around him that always ends with him putting the ball in the back of the net. And it just seems, I know Huddersfield defensively have been quite resolute this season. It's been a real, a good season defensively, especially when considering how things panned out at the end of last season in terms of how many goals they were shipping. Definitely big improvements there, but I think Mitrovic is, a level above at this level. And I fully expect him to go out and score again. Michael Smith at Rotherham to score against Wigan. As Marcus says, we're expecting a game week where conditions probably take over. Quality of football probably won't be as good as we've come used to. I think, especially with Rotherham and Wigan, they've played some very good football at times. But I think that Michael Smith's physicality it gives Rotherham, a completely different dimension. And again, Wigan are a team that have defended well, got a good defensive record. But I ultimately think that Michael Smith has what it takes to go out and score again. We've seen that against Sheffield Wednesday, another defence that hadn't been breached in 4 games. So I'm fully expecting Michael Smith to have a good few opportunities to hit the back of the net. And I've also got Matt Stevens at Forest Green. I spoke earlier about the sheer quality of their wing backs, and it always tends to be Matt Stevens on the end. And He's a player that's really proven to be a top level League Two striker this season. I seen something the other day that says, I think it was his own dad that said that he's not the quickest, he's not the strongest, he's not anything. He doesn't do anything the best, but he just scores a lot of goals. And I don't know how he'll probably feel about his own dad saying that, but yeah, he's a general goal scorer, and I'm sure he'll get the opportunities presented to him against a team like Walsall. And my last one is Emil Rees to score against Reading, and again, conditions will certainly play a part in this. Emil Rees is a confident striker, a player that looks getting behind, looks to capitalise on any misfortunes, and I think that Preston will continue to create a lot of chances against the Reading side, where we've seen it against Peterborough. Peterborough did have a lot of opportunities, and should Peterborough have had a striker like Emil Rees, then I'm sure he would have notched. So yeah, those 4 to score, I've got at 19.33 to 1.
Nice. I like that. I think over the last few weeks, we've had these goal scorer bets and we've always been one off. So hopefully this weekend we'll get all 4. There we go, Billy. That was Billy's wildcard selection, 4 different goal scorers for this weekend. Let us know in the comments what you make of Marcus and Billy's wildcard for this weekend. Right, well, that wraps up this week's episode of the EFL betting show here on Football League World TV. We've got one more show coming up for you later this afternoon. We've got the EFL weekend preview show. Alfie Burns will be steering the ship for that one alongside Chris Gallagher, so well worth tuning in for. If you are watching this on YouTube, please do stick a like in below this video if you enjoy the content. And if you're new around here, please do subscribe to us. We really do appreciate all the new subscribers that come and join us here on the channel as we continue to grow. But from myself, Marcus and Billy, we shall see you soon.